Hello and welcome to this special broadcast from The Hindu. I am now joined by resident editor of our Delhi edition, Mr. Amit Barua. Thank you very much. My first question to you is that Aam Aadmi Party, except one exit poll, most had predicted in the range of 55, thereby giving them a dip of 13-14 seats from the last 67. But they seem to have retained most of it, 63. So it's better than even the exit polls. Poll of polls, I remember, clearly gave them 56 and 14 to the BJP. So Aam Aadmi Party has done better and BJP seems to have done worse than what was predicted.
Well, I think Sandeep, the fact that we are beginning with 55, I think that in itself is a commentary, because 36 is the majority magic figure in the Delhi Assembly. So I think that what has happened today, the trends and the results, I think is a major victory for Arvind Kejriwal and his brand of politics. Mm-hmm. And in an interview to The Hindu, he had specifically mentioned that he's going to the polls on the basis of Kaam ki Rajniti. Right. And that is what I think he has managed to sell successfully to people.
On the other hand, though, we saw a lot of, very shrill campaign. We saw Union Minister talking about very controversial statements, almost inciting people to violence. A lot of polarizing debate and narrative. That clearly didn't seem to have worked for the BJP. So you think the BJP perhaps now, because this is the sixth straight assembly polls that they have lost, despite such a massive win last year in the Lok Sabha election. So do you think that they need to reorient their strategy for state polls?
Well, I think that the kind of language that was used by the union ministers and, saying that if you press the EVM button, the current will go to Shaheen Bagh. Obviously, people are being smart enough to understand that this is not really the driving force. Of course, having said that, the BJP has improved its vote share to the detriment of the Congress. But I think, Sandeep, really the issue is that if Kejriwal is able to win an election on the basis of his performance, then I think this is a message that goes out to all state governments and the chief ministers, that this is what you must be selling, as opposed to a divisive agenda which we've seen, on display time and again in all assembly polls.
That's right. I mean, in fact, perhaps the BJP should now rethink its strategy, at least insofar as state elections are concerned, that such divisive agenda does not pay dividends.
Because remember, all this entire election has taken place in the backdrop of the CAA, NRC, the protests, the students coming out, the couple of firing incidents that we had in Jamia, because there was a real danger that the situation in Delhi could have deteriorated further. Mercifully, right, that didn't happen, and the elections have happened peacefully.
True. In fact, this is, some people were pointing out that this is the first assembly election that BJP lost after CAA. That's actually not the case. They lost Jharkhand first, and then this is the second election after the passage of CAA, and clearly that has not paid dividends. As far as Congress is concerned, I think...
Yeah, in fact, I wanted to ask you they really didn't contest, it looked like.
Well, that's an interesting thing.
They put up the candidates, but there was very little of a contest.
Well, I think that I'm not sure whether I can agree with this proposition. I think, as I wrote, that we've all talked about that change being the only constant in life. But for the Congress, no change seems to be the only constant.
Because they're from zero to zero,
and they've got zero again. If anything, it's actually gone down. They had 22%, they had 9% vote share in the last assembly election. They got 22% in the Lok Sabha polls, and in many seats they had done better than us.
So you've been in Parliament the whole day. What are the kind of reactions that you picked up to the Delhi elections?
I think most of the BJP MPs didn't want to talk about. The Congress was, frankly, they were reconciled. They knew that this was coming.
In fact, one of their spokesmen, Mukesh Sharma, he admitted defeat even before the counting had begun.
Exactly. So they knew that this was coming. But if you ask me that did they actually give a walkover to the AAP, was this all a part of a strategy? I would say no. It was this. But
it's a fact that Rahul Gandhi was addressing a rally in Jaipur and not in Delhi. I mean, that's also a fact.
That's true. I mean, there was a state of confusion within the Congress. I know for a fact that a lot of Rajya Sabha, leaders, MPs of the Congress party, they preferred AAP winning, because for them the bigger goal was to defeat the BJP at all cost. And if AAP can do that, let it be the case.